10 signs you are breaking down mentally. Have you ever felt like you were teetering on the edge of a mental breakdown? You're definitely not alone. With the pressure to succeed, parental worries, relationships, school, and the never-ending stress of work, more and more people feel like they're reaching a breaking point. But a mental breakdown might not always be as obvious as you'd think. Sometimes it creeps up slowly, like a shadow inching closer and closer. That's why knowing the signs is crucial and seeking help when needed. Today, we're diving into the world of mental breakdowns, or as some call it, a nervous breakdown. It's not a medical term or a specific diagnosis, but rather a way to describe intense mental and emotional distress. So buckle up as we explore how to spot the signs and navigate through these challenging times. Number 10, anxiety or depression. Let's kick things off by checking out the 10th sign that might indicate you're struggling mentally, feeling anxious or depressed. Do you ever feel like daily life is too much to handle because you're constantly on edge? Or maybe you're feeling super down and it's starting to interfere with your normal activities. Well, these feelings could be signs of anxiety or depression, which often show up when stress sticks around for a while. If you're on the brink of a mental breakdown, you might find yourself feeling totally helpless or bursting into tears out of nowhere. It's also expected to have moments where anger takes over and you feel like you can't control it. So if any of this sounds familiar, it might be time to pay attention to what your mind and body are telling you. Number 9, panic attacks. If you're suddenly hit with intense anxiety, you might be having what we call a panic attack. It's like your body's alarm system going off because of some super severe stress. And let me tell you, it's not just all in your head. Panic attacks can come with some pretty wild physical symptoms too. Picture this: shaking like a leaf in the wind, feeling like you can't catch your breath, getting dizzy like you're on a merry-go-round, sweating buckets, mouth drier than the Sahara, heart racing like it's in a marathon, and maybe even feeling like an elephant is sitting on your chest. Yep, it's a whole package deal. So if any of these things sound familiar, take notice and chat with someone who can help you. You're not alone in this. There are ways to manage those tricky panic attack moments. Number 8, change in appetite. Now, let's explore something we've all probably done at some point. Stress eating. You know, when you're feeling overwhelmed and suddenly all you want to do is munch on something? Well, it turns out there's a reason behind it. When stress hits, our bodies release this thing called cortisol, which can make us crave sugary or fatty foods like there's no tomorrow. It's like our brain's way of trying to find comfort in snacks. But here's the kicker. Overeating when we're stressed can actually make us feel worse in the long run. On the flip side, some people might lose their appetite while going through tough mental or emotional times. Their hunger disappears because their minds are too busy dealing with everything else. So, whether you're reaching for the cookie jar or suddenly not feeling hungry, it's all part of how our bodies and minds cope with stress. But being aware of these patterns is the first step to finding healthier ways to deal with those overwhelming feelings. Number 7, withdrawing from friends and family. At number 7, let's tackle this tough sign. When stress is swallowing you whole. You know, those times when chatting with a friend sounds nice, but the thought of it feels like climbing Mount Everest? It happens to the best of us. When stress hits hard, sometimes you want to crawl under the covers and hide from the world. It's like your social battery hits empty, and even the most superficial conversations feel like running a marathon. So you start canceling plans left and right, making up excuses, or even dodging calls and texts like a ninja. But here's the thing. Isolating yourself when stressed can make things feel even more challenging. Sure, some alone time can be excellent, but too much of it is only sometimes the best medicine. So if you're feeling like a lone wolf in Stress City, remember that reaching out, even if it's just a quick text or virtual hangout, can make a difference. You don't have to face it all alone. Number 6, negative changes in lifestyle. Let's talk about unhealthy lifestyle changes. This covers a whole bunch of stuff like how you sleep, what you eat, and whether you're getting any exercise. But when these things start going off track all of a sudden, it could be a sign that something's up with your mental health. Imagine this. You used to sleep early, but now stay up super late. Or you're eating snacks all the time and exercising feels impossible. These sudden shifts might seem harmless, but they can actually be your mind's way of saying, hey, something's not right here. Your body's trying to tell you that things aren't as peachy as they seem. So if you're noticing these changes in your daily routine, it might be worth taking a moment to check in with yourself. Number 5, talking less and slower. At number 5, let's discuss one of the signs that something might be up. Changes in how we talk. Our words hit a speed bump and slow down a bit. Have you ever found yourself pausing a lot or struggling to put your thoughts into words? It could be because all sorts of thoughts and feelings are jumbling up in your head, making it tricky to speak up. You might notice yourself saying things like, I don't know, or something just feels off when someone asks how you're doing. It's your brain playing hide and seek with your words. So if you've ever felt that your speech is hitting the brakes, know that you're not alone. It could be a sign that your mind is trying to tell you something. Have you ever felt this way? Number 4, extreme fatigue. Let's talk about stress and feeling tired. Have you ever felt really, really tired lately? Well, guess what? Stress might be the reason. Whether you're staying up late or sleeping too much, stress can make you feel like you're moving as slow as a turtle. And here's the thing. When stress and tiredness team up, they can really mess with your mind. Imagine this. It's like you're carrying around a heavy bag of bricks, making every step feel really hard. And no matter how much you sleep, you still feel tired. That's because when you're always tired and stressed, it can lead to big problems for your mental health. So if you're feeling more tired than usual, it might be a good idea to take a break and relax. Your mind and body will definitely thank you for it later on. Number 3, trouble concentrating. Did you know stress can mess with your brain and body? Yep, it's true. It's not just a feeling in your head. It can actually shake things up in your brain and body. When stress hangs around for ages, it can start changing how your brain looks and works. That means your memory might start playing hide and seek, and focusing on stuff could feel like trying to catch a slippery fish. But wait, there's more. This stress can mess with your memory too. Yep, you heard that right. When you're stressed, your brain releases cortisol, and too much of it can throw your memory into a loop. It's like your brain's getting mixed up in a memory maze. And here's another thing. Stress doesn't just affect your memory. It can also mess with your ability to concentrate. You might find it harder to pay attention or stay focused on tasks. Your brain's trying to judge too many things at once. So next time stress comes knocking, remember it's not just a mental game. It's playing tricks on your whole body, brain included. Number 2, excessive worrying. Ever feel like your brain is just a jumble of worries? You know, like you're thinking about work stuff, school stuff, friend stuff. It's like a never-ending list. Will I ace that test? Did I mess up in yesterday's meeting? Sound familiar? We all have worries from time to time. But if they're sticking around 24/7, it might be a sign that something bigger's going on. It's like your brain's stuck on a merry-go-round that won't stop spinning. Exhausting, right? But hey, here's the thing. If you find yourself stuck in worry mode from the crack of dawn till bedtime, it could be your brain's way of saying, hey, let's chat. Don't ignore those signals. Your mental health matters. And there are ways to calm that whirlwind down. You can try simple things like deep breathing exercises, going for a walk, or talking to a friend or family member. And remember, it's okay to ask for help. Your well-being is important, so let's work together to calm those worries and find some peace of mind. Number 1. Forgetful behavior. Number 1 on our list is absent-mindedness. Ever been so lost in your own thoughts that you forgot what you were doing? It happens to the best of us. When mental distress gets thrown into the mix, it could be a sign of something more serious like a mental breakdown. So, why does this happen? When we're feeling super stressed or overwhelmed, our minds can get stuck in a loop of worrying thoughts. Our brains hit the pause button on everything else going on around us. And sometimes you might find yourself in a spaced out state, just staring into space for what feels like forever. It's like you're physically here, but mentally somewhere else entirely. This kind of absent-mindedness is pretty common, especially when things are tough, like during adolescence. If you catch yourself zoning out a lot or feeling lost in thought, it might be time to give yourself a mental checkup. Your mind deserves some attention too, you know. Thank you for watching Cupid's Guidance.